guys, it's Tuesday and today I'm here to talk about my unexpected favourite reads. So these are books that I've gone into not expecting much from them or not really being sure if I wanted to read them in the first place, and then them just blowing me away and just being like, oh my god, amazing, love the book, it was great. But yeah, I'm excited to do this topic because it is always fun to find like a gem of a book when you're not sure if you're actually going to like it. So let's get into it. Number 5 on my list is Lady Helen and the Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman. When I first saw this book, the cover really repulsed me. I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, it's fucking ugly. But also for the fact that it's like historical fiction, and I wasn't a biggest fan of historical fiction, and I'm still not that big of a fan, but I will read it. At the moment I can only kind of stand it if there's some type of fanatical element to it, so this definitely has it. And when I started reading it, it was kind of hecka boring because the detail was so good but so extensive that I was just like reading this like, what the hell have I gotten into? It just clicked about page 50 that this book is amazing. I absolutely love the characters, I love the world building. Yes, it got a bit hard to read with all the stuff going on with all the like dressing and the protocol and what everyone had to do in the time, because this is set so long ago. But I loved it so much, so when I picked up the sequel I read that so easily. But I seriously love these books so much, and I'm so annoyed that the last book isn't coming out for so long. Like, I need to know. It's been over a year since I've read book 2 and I'm literally dying because I need to know. And now it's April and it's gonna be like another 6 months, and I'm just like, there's so many sequels actually at the moment that are coming out in the last 3 months of the year that I'm just dying to get, and I don't have them yet. But this was just such an unexpected read and I loved it. Okay, number 4 on my list is Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I thought this was going to be like a really geeky book and I was excited to read it, but it definitely blew me away with how good it actually was. I loved Lincoln as a character. He was so adorable and geeky and nerdy, and like, he had the worst job ever though. They had to read people's emails to make sure they weren't terrorists or trying to blow something up or just do some shady shit in the office. And then he started to get obsessed with the emails of Beth and Jennifer, and they had such a great email chain. Alternate between a chapter of Lincoln talking and then a chapter of their emails, and you really got to know the characters, and it was really cool that there was different forms of writing in this, and just there was such a good story. But I didn't expect it to be so incredibly like emotional. Like, it was happy, it was sad, it was amazing. Like, I loved it so much, and it really solidified Rainbow Rowell as being one of my favorite contemporary authors. I've still got to read Landline and Carry On. Like, I need to do it and I have not done it, but I have read 3 of her books and I'm really happy. But so many authors, it's like I read a couple and then they have a million books and I just do not pick them up for the longest time. But definitely a great book. Number 3 on my list is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This is a book that I wasn't really that keen on reading, but I didn't actually know what it was about. Like, everyone was talking about it and then I saw what it was about and I'm just like, I should check this out. It's a good book to read because it has a lot of real life issues in it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up. I just didn't think about reading it, and I was just kind of like writing my fantasy, because like I go through stages where I just read fantasy and then I go to contemporary, then I read fantasy, then I go to contemporary. So I was right in the thick of fantasy when this was out, and I was just like, I don't even know, man, if I want to do it right now. But I did, and it absolutely blew me away with how realistic and amazing, and just the story concept was so good. And I'm so glad that this book completely exploded everywhere and everyone was picking it up, and I think that's even used in school readings now, which is just completely amazing. But I just was so blown away. Like, I was so sad, I was so happy, it was great, and I'm so excited for On the Come Up that's coming out next month in May. I'm just looking at my calendar. I have this big ass bookish calendar with all my releases, and it's like, yes, I know when things are happening. But seriously though, this was great, and I recommend everyone read it if you have not, because I feel like everyone and their mum has read this book so far, but if you haven't, just pick it up. Number 2 on my list is Strange Dreamer by Lady Taylor. Like, I knew I wanted to read this book, but going into it I didn't have high expectations because I had to read this synopsis over and over and over again, and I still have no idea what this book is about. Like, honestly, I mean, even reading the synopsis now, I know the character names and I'm still just like, what? Like, this was the most confusing book I have ever read in my life. But the story, the characters, it was just so unexpected. The descriptions, like, I was overwhelmed by what the hell was going on, and just like, yes. But seriously though, I can't get over like how confusing this effing book was, and also it's the most beautiful thing ever. Like, bam, bam. And I really hope the sequel has this going on. please let it have this going on. I really enjoyed the story and it really hit me in the feels. There were so many times and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm thinking all these things and I'm like, oh my god, what actually is happening, and I have no idea and it's too hard. If you haven't read this book and you're not feeling it, just pick it up, just try it. Like, just be aware that it is heckin' confusing, but if you actually do understand what's going on, I praise you, because I do not understand what's going on. But this book, even though I did have issues with it, it's up on the list because it was so unexpectedly massive and huge and crazy, and I loved it. And number 1 is going to be one of my all-time favorite books, and that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I picked this book up so many years ago, but I was on Book Depository, and this is at the stage when I had like 10 books on my TBR because I did not have a job and I did not have the money. But what happened is I'm on Book Depository, and I only had recently found Book Depository, right? And I'm there looking at recommendations, and then The Night Circus popped up, and I'm thinking, what is this book? I wasn't even on BookTube. I didn't even know about books back then, really. Like, there was books that I had read, but from BookTube, I have read so many amazing books that I didn't even know existed. I picked this up on a whim because it had the quote that's not in my damn book anymore. I just realized the best quote of this whole thing is here, but on the back of my book, because I had a different book, I had the paperback, and it's, okay, I'm glad it's the first sentence. The circus arrives without warning. No announcement precedes it. No paper notices on the downtown posts and billboards. No mentions or advertisements in local newspapers. It's simply there when yesterday it was not. The towering tents are striped in white and black, and no gold and crimson to be seen. No colour at all save for the neighbouring trees and the grass of surrounding fields. I'm starting to read it like poetry. It is not, but you know, that was the only description. There was no back of the book. When I bought the hardcover, this was the first time I actually got to see the description and be like, that's what this book was about? But I had no idea, so I just jumped blindly into this book, and it is one of my all-time favourite books. I'm so happy that I'm able to say that I have an all-time favourite book. As I've said, I do plan to reread this, but I'm kind of scared that what if it's not my all-time favourite book anymore? I just did not expect to love this as much. It was just something I just took a jump on, and I just couldn't believe. Just the whole idea of a magical contest in a circus was crazy, and since reading The Night Circus, any book that has any element of a circus in, I look for and I want to read it because I'm obsessed with The Night Circus, so any other circus I'm obsessed with. So like, that's why I wanted to read Caraval, that's why I've got Freaks on my shelf, that's why so many books are out there that I just want to read because they have circuses in them. Like, more books should be in circuses. Actually, Dawn of the Burning City is another one I've got on my TBR because it's got like a circus vibe. But yes, it is just an amazing book, and I don't think my love for it is ever gonna die. So these are my unexpected favorite reads because these books were all amazing. I loved them so much, and I'm just so glad. All of them except for The Night Circus I've read after BookTube, so thank you to BookTube as well for telling me to read these books that I'm absolutely in love with. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you'd enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!